Cool. Hi, Domee. My name is Helena. I'm the head of arts and culture at GUAP magazine, all the way from London. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. So my first question for you is, Turning Red is the first Pixar film solely directed by a woman. How does it feel to be that woman?
Wow, man. It feels like an honor. It feels like a lot of pressure. But it also feels like kind of surprising because I'm like, really? Me? I'm the first one? It's like 2022, 2023 now. That's crazy. Yeah, all of the emotions. My other goal is like I will be one of many to come. So yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Also, what key steps or projects did you take to get to where you are today?
What key steps or projects did I take? Well, I first started at Pixar in 2011 uh, as a story intern, and then I got hired after that to be a story artist on Inside Out. And I think I was just so incredibly lucky in my career that I was able to work with leadership that really encouraged me to believe in my voice and kind of like find my voice and my strength in the work that I was doing. Like, you know, I feel like I super lucked out being cast on a film like Inside Out, where that was like the one film where I could say I had some kind of expertise on, like being inside the mind of a 13-year-old girl. Um, yeah, I was like fresh out of school and I didn't watch many movies at all or know much about film or anything, but I knew what that was like. And I think working with a director like Pete Docter, who kind of created this space to kind of like encourage anyone to like voice their ideas and not be afraid to speak up. I think that really helped grow me as a future storyteller. And I also just really like I just love drawing and I love making and creating and coming up with ideas and stories, and I wanted to keep doing that even after I got like a job as a storyboard artist. I continued making my own short stories on the side. I started like my own personal projects, and one of them eventually I pitched as a short film to Pixar, and it became Bow. So yeah, I would just say like try to figure out like try to develop and figure out your strengths and to develop your self-confidence and keep making stuff just as much as you can.
Okay, that's cool. And with Bao and Turning Red being both depictions of contemporary like Chinese culture, did you feel any pressure to represent your Chinese heritage in any way?
That's a good question. I think at first, like with Bao, I didn't feel any pressure because it honestly just started off as like a side project, just as a way to kind of put all of the stuff that I like in movies, like food porn, cute old Chinese people, and my weird sense of humor. I just wanted to put all of that in this project and work on it. I think that pressure came after the success of the short, and then I was asked to pitch ideas for like a feature film, and then immediately you're on a bigger platform. A feature film is seen by more people, there's more money, there's more people involved, there's more eyeballs on it. So I think that's where the pressure came a little bit more. But at the same time, it's not it there is pressure because there just aren't that many Asian stories out there that are being told by Hollywood. So you have that pressure of representing your entire race, even though you're just one person that went through one specific experience of being a Chinese Canadian girl. So my goal was to try to like cast the crew as diversely as possible, but also make sure that I wasn't the only Asian in the room. So there wasn't just one narrow perspective of that experience. So, you know, our writer, Julia Cho, is Korean American. Our production designer, Rona Liu, is Chinese American. So like the writer and the person who's in charge of the whole creative look are both like, can both speak to that background. So the pressure was off of me a little bit more.
That's cool. Can you please give GUAP a word of advice for emerging film directors?
Oh, a word of advice. Gosh, a word of advice. What would be a good word of advice? I mean, there's so many. I would just say find your community. I feel like I grew the most when I found colleagues and peers and friends who were like me, who were hungry and wanted to make stuff. And, you know, that like they kind of help push you and motivate you. And there's almost like this camaraderie, but also this friendly rivalry happening as well. I would just say find your community and like make stuff together, or like push each other to make stuff, because it's so hard and it feels so lonely when you're kind of by yourself in front of your laptop and you're like, I don't know, editing it, or you're in After Effects like, ugh, this sucks. But like, yeah, just making sure that you don't feel alone in the process, I think really helps too.
Cool. And lastly, when did you know that Turning Red was a story that you wanted to tell? Because you said that Bao was a side project. When did you know that Turning Red?
When? So after I made Bao, Pixar asked me to pitch 3 ideas for a feature film at the studio, and Turning Red was one of them, but I had 2 other ideas. But I think they were drawn to Turning Red, and I think I was drawn the most to it as well, because it was the most personal, and I think also the most uncomfortable. It was the most personal and most uncomfortable idea out of all 3 ideas. And there's just something about that made this story the most interesting and like narratively juicy. And I think that's the case with all stories. Like there's got to be like something in there that like makes you feel just a little bit uncomfortable or like nervous to show the world. But I think story gold is in that feeling.
That's cool. I don't know how long we have left, but my last question for you would be, as a successful film director, what does your day-to-day at work look like? If you can tell us maybe 3 things of your day-to-day work.
New day. Definitely need coffee in the morning. I need I need YouTube breaks in between my meetings, and just like, I mean, half of it is staring at my laptop at a blank screen and like banging my head on my keyboard, and then the other half of it is like trying to be inspired by chatting with and talking to other artists and creative people at the studio. Like I feel like if I'm ever hitting a wall, I just go out and I chit chat with another director or a story artist, or like I'll bring them in, we'll like talk about my film. Yeah, that's kind of a version of all those things.
Oh, thank you.